This is about a panel of best of breed. Until now, we've heard it from some startups, we've heard from some challengers, we've heard from some of the big guys who can do it all. But here we've got a group of guys who came to us in IATA and said, look, could we, if we get together and demonstrate that by bringing together bests of breeds, we can provide an end-to-end solution for the industry by working better together, can we have some airtime? So we said, yeah, go ahead. So it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Yannick. And thank you for the extra 5 minutes. Actually, when listening to all of the discussions just since yesterday, I think one thing became very, very clear. We all are very ambitious about true retailing, and we want to use the advantages of NDC and one order in order to make it happen. And there was another thing which was repeated several times. It's all about speed. We want to be faster than we are today. We want to start now. And this is actually why I'm really, really honored and very happy to be here with a group of 4 super innovative and super smart companies which have grouped together in order to make state-of-the-art retailing happen and to make NDC and one order alive now, today. We've got here around 15 years of Air France KLM with Hélène Millet, who now works for Conztanz. We've got Amadeus experience, TUI travel experience, and 10 years of Lufthansa, all in one person. Alexander von Bernstorff, now with Interest, and we already listened to him this morning to your presentation. We mentioned how important payment is, and payment becoming in the new world part of the offer process. Urs Kipfer from Datatrans makes it possible. And dynamic pricing was repeated several times as a key feature for state-of-the-art retailing. Welcome, Peter Schöber from Lufthansa Systems as well. Can we just have a quick applause for our panel, please? Let's imagine for a moment we are all together in an elevator, and we will all leave at the next floor. Can you explain, before we leave the elevator, what your companies are doing? Peter, do you want to start?
Yeah, for NDC One Order, we developed a dynamic pricing solution that is calculating the price in the moment when the shopping request is getting in. And so no RBDs, no pre-file fair filing isn't necessary anymore. And on top, we know how to do the revenue accounting as well, so it's connected to one order standard. So that's what we are bringing up. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Alexander.
Our airline retail engine is an offer and order management system. It's truly native to NDC in one order. It's been built from scratch and according to retailing procedures.
Urs.
Datatrans PCI Proxy is an independent payment service provider. We're based in Zurich, Switzerland, and we are focusing on easy to implement and seamless payment services as well as solutions for PCI compliance.
And Hélène.
And Conztanz offers its travel data agility platform to make the link between the old world and all those gentlemen and the new world.
Wow, it's really impressive. It means together you represent the whole travel retail sales process. And Hélène and Alexander, you have, let's start to look at this a little bit more. You have experienced in your airline times the problems that legacy or the limitations that legacy technology can actually bring in your distribution approach, in your commercial activities. Now NDC is really getting a significant traction. If you look at this and if you look at what you as a group represent, what do you do different to others? What do you do differently?
Well, I think, first of all, we're not here to put the old wine into new bottles. And there are 3 things. So first of all, our mindset is fully aligned. So we are here to enable modern digital retailing. That's the first thing. The second is we all concentrate on what we can do best. So that's the best of breed approach. And third, it's all about giving flexibility to the airline. So we can work as a group, but we can integrate with other providers, with other solutions. And there is no hidden agenda as to whom we work with and whom not. So that's how we work.
Yeah. Thank you, Hélène.
Indeed, of course, I agree with those 3 points, Alexander, but I would like to be a little bit more illustrative. We have been talking about retailing for the past 2 days, and really, retailing is not about only selling seats and bags for an airline. Retailing, to become a real retailer, an airline needs to be able to sell third-party provider services. And stakeholders, they don't see any added value in having the airline proposing those services. Let me give you a short example. Suppose you have a customer who wants to have a bunch of flowers delivered at the airport, right? And it's very likely to go and buy and order it from the local florist. It might go to the airline only if the airline guarantees that if, for instance, the flight is delayed or cancelled, and if the passenger will come only the day after, he will get fresh flowers as nothing had happened. So that's definitely how we should think of it. And if we look at one order, this is this kind of night feature that one order will allow. And we thought that it was so interesting that we have integrated that from day one, even now. Mm-hmm. And if I come back to our common airline experience, we have, both of us, seen all the constraints that the legacy world was having. And also we have lots of hope in the NDC world. We do believe that NDC one order can bring lots of improvement in this industry, but it might not if we don't go the whole way. So is having this in mind that we have developed our products, and so now. What we are doing, and just to take your picture, Alexander, we have created a new wine to be poured into new bottles, right? Which doesn't mean that we won't allow old wine to be poured into new bottles, right? Because as an industry, we are sometimes looking for continuity, and then therefore some stuff are mandatory.
Flowers and wine, it sounds like airlines can become really innovative with their retailing approach, with your solutions. And while it's actually very rare to find old wine which is good, I think it's very good to know that actually the old wine can be used with the new bottles. But let's look at what does your solution really look like? How does it help to go all the way, as you said, Hélène? What is the end game scenario that you envisage? Can you start, please, Alexander?
Yeah, it's important to know that it's not one solution that we build. It's just we're bringing our solutions together. And the end game is clearly around the customer. So the end game is to make it more relevant and easier and fun to use for the customer. And that brings happier customers and more revenue. So that's the end game in our point of view.
Hélène?
Yeah, and basically we put all the data together, the ones coming from the old world, the one coming from the new world, and so to ensure continuity.
Mm-hmm. Wes?
We're actually healing one of the major headaches within the NDC process, which is PCI compliance of payment. So with our solution, the whole process becomes PCI compliant, and we're also making sure that the cards for payment are valid.
Peter?
Well, we develop our applications in a microservice-based environment. They're cloud-ready, self-contained, and that's a very good technology to connect the different worlds. And within this new environment, well, you can get rid of the old world with pre-filed fares and booking classes and EMDs and so on. So that's something that connects us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. If airlines want to start and they are really keen to go for this solution, what are the potential approaches if they don't want to take any risk for their current business? Is it possible? What are potential approaches?
It's lowering risk is, I mean, I've, as you said, worked for an airline, so managing risk sounds familiar. And the main tool or method to manage risks for us is agile, and it's not a buzzword. It's really an agile method of working. We have it in our contracts. But that's one thing, and it's also looking at other industries, how they test, fail, learn, and improve. And this is something we need to bring into our DNA as an industry.
Mm-hmm. Anything to add, Hélène?
Well, yeah, once again, we know that the NDC migration is not likely to come as a big bang. It will more be like an evolution. So basically, it means that we will have to deal with transition. And so we need to have enough flexibility to be able to make this migration, this transition, as transparent as can be for the customer, whatever channel he chooses to buy on.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like we are talking more about evolution rather than revolution. Let's look at this a little bit deeper to really understand the implications for the airlines. Peter, can you describe in concrete terms what a smooth transition could look like?
Yeah, something that you can do is you pick up a sales channel or you pick up a single market and set up such an environment, and then you test it if it's working. And if this is good, you can scale it up, and it's getting more and more important. The same thing is something we did with a supplier that is not on stage over here, but we implemented such a world, and today I flew with one order, so without booking classes, and so I'm here. And it works, it's not future. So you can get started, start small, and go ahead.
Congratulations, and I'm very happy that you arrived. It's a very good sign, so we could start now. Mm-hmm. In the panel this morning, when discussing one-stop shop versus best breed, it was said that ultimately it's not a technology decision, it's a preference for the airline, from the airline perspective. But isn't it, if I just look at the procurement process, if I have to do the whole process for 4 companies, it's much more cumbersome than doing it for 1, isn't it?
Come on. If you have like 4 providers, it doesn't mean that you will have 4 contracts. The advantage with the way we work is that we perfectly know what we are doing, in the sense we are specialists, so we know what we can do, we know what we cannot do, and we want to be totally transparent with our customer. So this may naturally lead to a very lean procurement process and very lean contracts.
Okay, makes sense. If I now think about implementation time, just to get an idea about this, Alexander, if we take the example of your retail engine solution, and we wanted to implement this now with an airline for a use case, as Peter suggested, just like one route, for example, how much time do we need to calculate for this?
I would say that based on the 4 PSSs we have integrated already, it's rather weeks than months.
Wow. This is amazing, and knowing it's you saying this, I know it's serious, it's not just said like this. If I now want to look at the payment processing as part of this setup, which Alexander described, Urs, what does this mean for this setup?
Well, actually, you know, the tokenization and the authorization process are fully integrated into the NDC order process. This brings the advantage that actually all orders you get into your systems are paid, so you get your money. And from an integration time point of view, it's, you said rather months than weeks, and or rather weeks than months, sorry. And for us, you know, it's about days. It's usually the onboarding process takes roughly 5 days, could be even less. And because we can actually use acquiring contracts which are already there, so it's really a highly efficient process.
Fantastic. Can we play a little game? I tell you one word, and you tell your associations with it, very short and sharp. Hélène, do you want to start? Personalization.
Yeah, I would say that it's more a matter of what the customer wants. If the customer wants a personalized offer, we will take his data and we will proceed it to have a personalized offer. If it doesn't, we are capable in doing anonymous. What's important to keep in mind is that now, thanks to the new world, we are capable of doing that, doing the difference, doing what the customer wants.
Peter, cloud technology.
It's an environment that's going to be the new normal. And so something that is a new technology today is going to be, just a normal thing to the market. And through this, it's very easy to connect different suppliers.
Customer service, Alexander.
Customer service is today all over the place, and the user experience is often embarrassing. So with the way we utilize NDC in one order, we can help streamlining all the interaction between the airline and the customer along the entire value chain.
Collaboration with partners, Urs.
Well, I can give you an extra short answer. It's all about mindset, it's about responsibility, and it's about lead.
Innovation with speed. Who is going to take this one?
I can take it. It's so because we concentrate really on what we can do best, we are maybe better than other solutions and or larger solutions. And because we use newest technology in the right way, we can connect very easily to other systems and solutions. So that's where we get the speed from.
Thank you. If you now think about the one recommendation that you want the audience here, the people to take away with them, the one recommendation for the airlines moving forward, what is it? Are you going to start, Peter?
Yeah. So if we talk to airlines, we very often get the answer that they're still waiting, and if the technology is there, and if what others are doing, well, there's no need for this. So the applications are there, you are able to connect them, and it's up to you to get started. It's most likely not in the full-blown last corner evolution, but it's there. You can get started, and this is the mindset you should go for.
Mm-hmm. Urs, your recommendation?
It's all about picking the right partners, you know, with the right service attitude, with a lot of flexibility, and with a huge amount of experience. Then you're in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Hélène?
Yeah, as we said, NDC and non-NDC are very likely to coexist for the future years. So we have a transition ahead. So my recommendation would be not to fear this transition, because we have taken that into account, and what we propose will help you. So let's go for it.
Thank you. Alexander?
Yeah, get out of the comfort zone, leave some old processes behind, and experience the efficiency and effectiveness of working agile.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think it's a fair summary to say that working with these best-in-breed organizations offers lots of opportunities from the airline perspective to really become true retailers. And particularly if I look at this dynamic environment, which demands speed, which demands innovation. And it's not a closed shop. It's completely open. It's like this plug and play that you can just use, and the airlines can decide how they want to approach it, whom they want to start with, and how to continue. So for me, it's almost like saying the biggest risk is not to start and to not move on. And it's actually very refreshing to see that thanks to you as providers, and thanks to IATA, NDC, and One Order, suddenly airlines have all of the possibilities, no excuses anymore, to actually move forward, to become true retailers, to simplify, and to become innovative. So I can only recommend, please do talk to Hélène, Alexander, Urs, and Peter. They've got a common booth in the exhibition area. They've got something to look at, to touch. It's really worth it. Use the opportunity whilst you are still here during this event. And a big, big thank you to the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ursula. Thank you very much, guys.